Alright, Crossfire friends, this is Mark Mathern, Crystal's husband. We're going to start a convertible transformation going from a black top to a beige top. I went ahead and cleaned the car real good. I cleaned the top because I'm planning to put the windshield back into the black cover. And we did one top last night. I think I'll be able to do this one by myself really easily. I saw some of the techniques and pitfalls and so forth. Got all the tools together here that I think I'm going to need. I should have a rubber mallet, but Crystal misplaced that, of course. But basically some screwdrivers, some different tools, a wrench, little screwdriver, pliers, and a pot rivet. One thing we did learn last night after we used other pot rivets, these actually come in the kit with the new top. So anyways, I'm going to try to be able to take a couple pictures as we go and so forth, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. Alright, I got a couple more items. I got a drill with the drill bit. This is the actual top itself as it was delivered, I guess from England, Bob Richardson's hometown. Alright, and then what I did basically, I popped the hood here, and I'm probably going to disassemble this piece and then just start dismantling the top. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, as I try to get started, I realize what I need to do is open up the hood some more, and I'm going to be taking that strip off with a particular tool. Let me show you what that is. One of these things. There we go. See? That's going to go right into this little guy right here and take all those off. Okay? Turns out the T15 is the only tool I could find, so that's what I'm going to use, okay? Alright, we got all the little screws out, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this rubber piece off each side and then take this. So we got to take this strip off the top there, and we'll take some of the molding pieces off. So that'll be our next step. I saved everything in the bag, all the little pieces, okay? Okay, after I pulled these rubber pieces down, I was to take the metal strip off and I set it on the floor. But you can see how nice this is actually fitting, and the pressure on my top is starting to release, so I'm going to have to recycle it a little bit. Okay, thank you. Alright, my next piece is to drill that little rivet out right here. So I'm going to drill that rivet out on each side, okay? Alright, sorry guys, my phone overheated, so I made some progress without you guys being able to see. So just to recap here, I took all the screws off the top here, and then once I pulled this rubber piece off, I was able to pull off the top itself as well as the metal piece and set that down. Now there's going to be a pop rivet here, if you can see. I put towels underneath, as you can see here, to catch all the metal shavings. I drilled just a small drill bit just to get the top piece of the pop rivet out, okay? And while you have it in position here, go ahead and get a little metal punch that pop rivet out and catch it from behind and pull it out. And I set it on the floor so I know what size pop rivet's going to go back in there. There's a strap here that went right here. Let's see, my video quality is not the best, but anyways, it went right here, and I went ahead and drilled it out and pulled it out as well. What I'm finding is this is the best position of the top, okay? Because I was able to get to 3 different pop rivets very easily. I had to pull this rubber piece down, and then I was able to pull the top off of here and just kind of lay it down. Pulled this pop rivet out, and then the next thing I had to pull this rubber piece here. What I did is I put a long screwdriver in here and just kind of pried it down, then pulled it rest of the way and just set it down. All right. There's this metal wire here. I also was in here, and I just disengaged that and set it down. And then there was a pop rivet right here, okay, as part of the top that I drilled out. All right, and when you do that, what you're going to do is position the top in such a way that you can, once that pop rivet is drilled out, you're going to actually pull this down. Now, in order to do that, this cable here, you have to feed through this little thing here. So I just fed it, and you just pull it through this little sleeve right here and just let it hang down. Then this, as you can see, these little grooves here, they engage in these holes right here. So I just pulled the top down so it would slide out, because I plan on reusing this top once I put the cover back on. Now there was a pop rivet here I drilled out. I put towels here and drilled that out, and I was able to pull this off real easily. So I'm going to figure out what the next step's going to be. Okay? So you can see from behind, basically the top just kind of folded back is the way that I have it currently. Alright, this part, I didn't even time this, but I probably got this far in about 15 minutes, just trying to take my time and be neat about it and everything. Okay? Alright, I figured out where I'm going to go next. So I had to turn the car on, had to reposition the top, because the bonnet or whatever this is, started to go down. So I had to recycle the top again to open it up. And as you can see where I am right now, I need to get to right here. Let's see, right here there's a pop rivet that I want to get out as well. Okay, so I had to reposition the top so I could get there. So I'm going to carefully take that off. Alright. Alright fellas and gals, I got the pop rivet drilled out here, took the face off the pop rivet, and now what we have to do, let's see if we can see this, right there I got to punch the pop rivet through, but you can see right here I'm going to have to take this clasp off to get the hydraulic thing off so I can get that pop rivet out. So I'm going to take this clasp off, be careful it doesn't shoot anywhere, they're pretty easy to get off. That white piece here is going to come off, so you have to be careful where that goes. And then once you get that pop rivet out, you put everything back in place. But you can kind of see where we are right now with the positioning of the top and everything. I'm just leaving the car running. That way it'll kind of keep some pressure on the hydraulics, and I'll be on to the next step. Alright, what I just did is this, as you can see, this is the part of the rivet on the back side right here. I had to remove, what I used this punch right here and the hammer, and basically just punched out through that hole right there. This piece that I have in the pliers, as you can see, I had to move this rail off just a little bit, so it's still on there, and I was able to get my pliers right here and pull it out. So I just pull it out. So far this has been the hardest thing to do, so this is a pretty easy job thus far. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and put it back. As you can see, the white thing, this clip, the easiest way to get this clip off was I just got a flathead screwdriver and I stuck it in the groove right there and just carefully pried it off. Because you can see the way these work on there is this clips on the metal pinion, and then you have this white piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and put all that back together and take the other one off. Alright, as I mentioned, I'm on the other side. We took the pop rivet off here. As I mentioned, this clip right here, guess what? When I took it off, it slid down in there somewhere. So I had my handy dandy magnet retriever, and that I was able to actually retrieve it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out, you can see the back side of the pop rivet right there. I made some room. I'm going to go ahead and punch that out and pull that out and put everything back together right there. As you can see, my top basically kind of fell on me. Okay, you can see right now I took that rivet out, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back into place. Put this white thing on here. Let's see, this white thing goes on there, and the clip is going to go on. So that's where we are right now. Okay, so we'll figure out the next step. These things here, actually, these are supposed to be glued to the top, and these are going to slide out. They're going to slide out. Both of these straights right here. So what Crystal and I did, we folded these down. I'm going to collapse this. This is probably the part where you need two people, but it's just me, so I'm going to try my best. I'm going to go ahead and collapse these down. Because what you have to do is get this to fold down so you can actually have a straight line to pull this out. And if you imagine this pulling out, when you got to put the new top on, you have to do both at the same time. And that's probably the hardest part of this whole process. Okay? Alright, I decided my next step, since these things aren't glued and the top comes off without that, I just folded it back. So my next step is I'm going to pull everything off the back here, and there's little bitty clips in here that you have to keep track of. I was told there's 10 clips, so you don't want to lose those clips. That's what keeps it tucked up underneath a groove. It clips right in. So I'm just going to gently pull this apart all the way around. It's going to release my entire top, I believe. Okay, so that's going to be my next step. You can see the lid's up there. I'm having problems right now. The hydraulics, I'm probably have to turn the car off and restart it so it knows where it's positioned and whatnot. But right now, it's fine. I'm going to be able to pull that back part of the top off. And I'll show you what I have when I'm done. Okay? That part was really quick. It just pulled right off, real simple. But what I want you to be able to see is that clip you see there. Those are the clips. It's hard to see. This is what one of the clips looks like. That's off another window. But you want to make sure you have all those clips, okay, along the way. And you want to keep that center one right where it is, because that's going to be key when lining up the new top. So you're going to take that one off and put it on the new top right where that one is. Let me show where we are, what everything looks like. So it's basically a naked top, convertible's off. This took me about 30 minutes to take it off, and that's with video and everything. But these clips, there's a little groove. It's hard to see. There's a little groove up in here, and these basically help when they're on the top clip in. Okay. So last night when we did the other top, that was the hardest part, is getting this situated in the center. Now what I'm gonna have to do now is pull these off, and I'll just slide them out and kind of collapse the top together to give me some slack here to get those down real low so I can slide straight out. Same thing here, get it really low and slide straight out, and then I'm ready to put the new top on. So you can see everything's kind of in nice shape. This is a car I'm considering selling. Cleaned it up pretty good today. I'm going to work on it some more. Put a beige top on. It wasn't quite as clear as or light in color as I'd hoped, but you can see with the white interior, I think it's going to look really nice. Alright, we're on to replacing the top, putting the new one back on. So as I was saying, the hardest part is going to be sliding the two pieces of the top into here. So I have this position to give me enough slack so I can get it started. What I mean, there's a little groove here, so you got to be able to get this down low enough. Otherwise, you're going to have to take this rivet out, which I really don't want to do. So I'm going to try to slide it in here, and you can see I got enough slack here. We can go and slide into here. So you can see how I'm going to try to create some slack. So I'm going to have to go get a partner to help me do this so we can slide it on, and then you'll see what I'm talking about once we get it on. And then, as I mentioned, getting the top in with those little clips here is going to be important, because you're going to start in the middle and go off to each side. Okay. You can see this is in really good shape. Crystal's other car is a lot more miles, older car, the SRT6. All this was torn apart, so this might be something that need to be replaced on some of them. But as you can see with this one, this car is in excellent shape. I think it has 34,000 miles on it, and top's in beautiful shape. Everything on this car looks really nice. All right, here's the top all laid down and everything. What I was pointing out, fellas and gals, is this. On each of the top and the bottom here, those are going to have to go into the grooves. So I got me a fellow soldier to help me out. So we're going to try on to the next step. Alright, we put those little pins in and we put it in. Man, that went really easy. It's a lot easier during the day than it is at night, that's for sure. Vacuumed out, cleaned out the back there, and you can see the color. Not done yet. Verdicts are still yet to be out, but we'll see when we're done. Alright, I gave up on the heat. Boy, it was getting to be really hot outside, so I'm in the carport, swept up and everything. You can see the top on here. We still got a ways to go. We got the top on the back here, tucked in pretty nicely. I'm actually starting to like the color a little bit as I see it on the car, and I think once we're done, it's going to be nice. Now what we have left, to do is we got to put the pop rivet in here, okay? Then you see here, that pop rivet is going to have to go right down here. It's hard to see, all right? Then we're going to have a pop rivet here, and then we're going to have a pop rivet underneath here, and I'll reposition the top and everything. What I do want to show you, what I did do is I kept track. Boy, you can see how bright it is out here. Sorry, turning the angle here. These came with the top. We did not know this last night, so we were using inferior pop rivets, and they weren't working very well. I also kept track of how I took them off, so you can see the sizes. These are smaller, larger, smaller, larger, okay? So what I'm assuming, all these that come with the top are the same size, but these little brown things, I'm taking a guess that these brown things are to help it be more like these big pop rivets. So like I said, they're all the same size. Got a pop rivet gun. And I learned something too last night. See all these little fittings, those silver fittings? Those are different sizes. You want to pick the one that fits the diameter of this the best, so it flattens it out the best. Okay, so some of you probably have never used that pop rivet gun before, but that's where we're going to be next. Okay. Okay, we successfully put the pop rivet in there. Okay. Basically this here folds over, so the pop rivet goes through the material twice, goes in there, and you want to try to hold the pop rivet gun 90 degrees perpendicular to this so you don't break off the pin of the pop rivet. See here? Okay. Now what we're going to do next is up here, I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to feed it through right there, coming all the way through the top. So I just want to make sure I get that done. Now remember here, you got these grooves. We don't want to break those off. So the next part, we have to fold this over, being careful with the rubber here and everything. And we got to get this positioned just right. So when we put it in here, we slide it up into position. So this hole lines up for the hole here, so you can put a pop rivet in. And then also there's a little gauge right here. See that little pin right there? That's supposed to line up with right in here as well. Okay, so we'll see what we do on both sides with that. Then we're gonna go ahead and put the pop rivet here and here. So I'm going to reposition the top a little bit. Actually, I mean here to right here. All right, and then we got another pot rivet that's going to go here under here, and as we get there we'll go over that as well. But you can see been pretty easy actually. I'm surprised. Okay, alright, bye bye. Okay, I repositioned the top a little bit to give me some slack so I can move this, and I'm probably going to reposition the top a little bit to give me a better positioning for doing the pop rivet as well. So you kind of have to play with the top a little bit to get into better positions. Alright, we got the pop rivet down there as well as right here, and reposition the top a little bit. And I try to put this in. This is going to be tough to get to snap in place, but we'll worry about that. We're going to put this in place here, and then we have the pop rivet here on this side that we'll be working on next. So actually I think the hardest thing about the whole top is going to be getting these things, let me put this here back into place. Alright, almost done. Alright, try this again. Where we are right now, got the rivet in here, tucked it in, and then we got the rubber gasket in here. What I find is if you put this in up top first, and then you're really going to get along the edge in here real good, real tight. It's hard to do, and you get a rubber mallet. I used a really heavy hammer and just hit until I get it in there real good and tight. Then we put in the pop rivet here. We fed through the wire, and what I wanted to show you, this wire, get the top position like that to give you some slack, and get that in place. There you go. And now we got to do is get this in place and put that pop rivet in, and then put this up, and then put the brace on, and we're pretty much done. Alright, this is where we are. Got the pop rivet in here. You got the pop rivet in here, folded it under pretty nicely. Used a hammer or whatever. You can see I still got to work on this a little bit right here, getting that kind of hammered back in there. Now we got to just fold this over and put the top strip on, and that'll pretty much be it. Alright, we finished the project. I'm going to say it only took me 2 hours, and I was, believe me, taking my time. I bet I could probably do this in an hour, replacing the top. So basically everything's tucked away, everything's cleaned up, and I did a nice job, took my time, took a break and everything. Let me show you the only tools required to do your top is, I'd recommend a rubber mallet, but I couldn't find one, so I used a heavy hammer, a regular hammer with a punch, a pop rivet gun, a flathead screwdriver, a T15, kind of one of those star wrenches, just a little wrench to line up some stuff, a magnet if you drop something, some needle nose pliers, paper and washing your hands. Add 2 extra cloths to catch the metal shavings. And then I just had a simple drill with, I don't know, maybe a 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch drill bit, and that was it. I mean, it literally took me an hour. It's probably one of the easiest things I've ever done. All right, we'll do the big reveal when I get it out. All right, here we go. There she is, the finished project. And Crystal's just driving up. She's been on a little car show. I actually think I like that color. It's a little different. Definitely a lot different. Takes some getting used to. Let's see, try not to turn the camera so we get the same angle the whole time, but so anyway, there's that one. Crystal just showed up with her blue top she put on last night, so I kind of like the blue top better, but I've already purchased this one, so it is what it is. But I think it looks good with the white interior, something different, one of a kind. Thanks for watching. Alright, we got the 2 newest tops on the market right there, the beige and the blue.